Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In a recent video, I did a comparison between my trail bike and my enduro bike. And the short conclusion was that on the trails I ride, the enduro bike was a tad bit slower, mainly because it didn't climb as well. And I didn't like that because I want to be able to ride my enduro bike everywhere. Actually, I think it's more fun to ride, and I want to make it more climber friendly. So I bought an oval chainring, installed it, and I'm going to ride the exact same trails that I rode last week with the round chainring, and we're going to compare the two rides. So we'll see if it makes any difference at all or no difference. So stick around. Oh, this should be interesting. Just in the first couple minutes, I've noticed it feels completely normal. But, you know, I have ridden with an oval before for basically about 1.5 years on my other bike. And that felt weird initially, but you just get used to it. What I'm feeling is that I feel like I'm spinning more. I feel like you can kind of turn the cranks over a lot easier. And it almost feels like you have one more gear on the bottom than you did before. So let's just see what it does in reality. Here we go. I don't expect there to be any difference in the descents. So I'm gonna take it easy on some of these downhills because with the virus and the quarantine, I really don't want to go to the ER with a broken collarbone today, so we'll just concentrate. Today's video's the goal is to compare a couple steep, punchy climbs to see if it's either easier to get up them or maybe even faster, or both. So we'll see if I can concentrate on getting some good clean climbs and try to put out the same effort I did last week when I was here. We'll see.
First off, notice how quickly I'm able to regain my speed and actually accelerate up this steep section. I feel like I'm being pushed. Also, see how much more I'm having to muscle the bike on the right and how much smoother I'm riding on the left? I'm standing less and putting down smoother power. It's actually crazy how I'm noticeably pulling away from round Steve. Smoother pedaling helps me actually track straighter and hold a line through these routes. And in case you're wondering, I have not adjusted the speed on these clips. If I didn't see it side by side, I wouldn't believe it. Here's one last climb. Surprisingly, even the mostly downhill sections were a lot faster on the oval because I lost less speed on the short transition climbs.
Well, all I can say is, holy crap. I went into this ride thinking that the oval chainring was gonna make a slight difference on just tech climbs and pedally sections. So my intent was to go through, pick out a handful of tech climbs, compare the GoPro footage from last week with the round chainring to this week with the oval. Everything else is the same. And I would just compare the times on those to see if it was any faster. And I noticed right away that it almost was like, even if I wasn't going faster, it was taking a lot less effort. It just felt like the pedals were just turning over on their own. And when it came time to get up on a flat section after a descent and then go into a climb, it was immediate. I didn't have to, even if I was in the wrong gear, you know, it's nothing worse than hitting a descent, going into a climb, and realizing, holy shit, I'm in the wrong gear, and you're grinding, you're trying to get yourself going. And even in the wrong gear, I could stand up and I could get to a place where I could shift. And it felt amazing. And, you know, I thought that this was going to be a very subtle comparison and maybe, you know, splitting hairs on 3 seconds here or 4 seconds there. I was crushing segments on this trail, and I was running Strava, and I'll go through and look at it. I ride this section of trail all the time. It's where I ride 90% of the time. A lot of these segments, I've got 50 or 60 different efforts on it that I can compare. I had to go back in some of them over a year and a half to find a faster time. And I wasn't working any harder today than I was any other time. I try to go out, I do a relatively hard effort that I can keep up for an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is, to be honest, it's not that hard. And I felt amazing. It was, I mean, I kind of went into this thinking it was going to come down to preference. Like, you know, a lot of these comparison videos, and, you know, I've done a bunch of videos comparing wheel sizes and comparing bike types, and I thought, okay, this is going to come down to preferences. You know, somebody might like a certain feel and somebody might like something else. But unless you prefer to work harder and go slower, I can't even imagine somebody not riding faster and easier on a round chainring than an oval. I know I've seen videos where they're comparing power output, and I can see it. It probably has no difference on actual power output, but what I felt was the power that I was putting out, it required less to do the same thing. If I was a stronger rider, I could probably take an advantage of that and go on 1 or 2 gears harder and go on a lot faster with the same power. So I'm gonna go back. I got to look at the numbers. It was, I can't even describe how different it felt. And I've ridden an oval chainring before, but it's been about a year. I sold my short travel 27.5 trail bike that I put one on, and I've been riding round chainrings for the last year. And I guess I forgot how good it felt. And it is hands down, there's no comparison. So I want to know from you, have you tried them? Have you found them to be helpful? Do you think that it makes no difference at all? I really want to know if I'm just weird, because it seems to me like, unless there's something extraordinary about how I rode today, and I didn't sleep well, I didn't eat well today, I wasn't feeling particularly strong, it made me a faster, seemingly fitter rider. I can't explain it. So if you have any questions, I really want to know what you think about this experiment. It was completely unscientific. It's just me going out, trying to ride the same trail the same way a couple times in a row. And like I said, I know the trails, I know where I can put in effort, I know where I need to save effort, and I try to do the same length of ride, about the same time of day. The weather was the same. There really was nothing different except for the oval chainring. And it was night and day. I really want to hear from you what your opinion is. Am I completely full of it? Is it in my head? If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. And if you're like me and just refuse to act your age, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.